we're going to use natural elements to create a very interesting ATC. For the sake of this video, we're using silk flowers because we don't have access to fresh plants at the moment, but this will suffice and give you a good idea as to the technique that's being used. We're going to begin by placing 3 pieces of Post-it note randomly on an ATC. I'm going to then do direct to paper and ink up my ATC so that we have a random color going on, and it doesn't matter if the post-its stay on or come off or whatever. We're just trying to get an area that is clean without any ink and an area that has ink on it. And taking the stylus, I'm going to smooth out the edges just a tad. This technique is actually one that is not real precise. It's kind of a painterly technique. I'm going to add a little bit of the Archival ink in those extra sections that didn't have ink before. And again, I'm going to go ahead and get things inked up. Where I can smooth them, I will. So I'll come back with the premium ink and I'll just add a little more color. This adds a little bit of an abstract pattern here because we're getting a combination of hard edge and soft edge. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this simulated flower. I'll just place it off the edge. I think I'll place it over here because this looks kind of like a nice place. And then I'm going to take a little bit of this color ink here, which is a beautiful saddle brown ink, and I'm just going to kind of blend it in a little bit. Now notice when I take the ink directly from the ink pad on the stylus tip, it does tend to move and spread a little bit in more of a shadowed manner. Now you have kind of a silhouette of a flower going on here, which is really pretty. I've got a leaf here, and I can do the same thing with a portion of a leaf by adding maybe a little darker color brown. You can use a new stylus or you can use the same one and you'll get kind of a gradiated effect because the colors will blend as you're doing this. Sometimes the effect is very, very subtle. Sometimes the effect is very dramatic. In this case, it's more dramatic because I used a harder edge for this one. Next one thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take, this happens to be just an element of the silk flower, and I'm going to use this as a stamp and just stamp a little bit of texture over here. Give that a little bit of extra dimension here. And then I will fold some paper just to create the simulation of what a twig would look like or a branch. Use that as a stamp. Kind of looks a little bit like grass coming in to give it a little bit more texture. The colors here can be as dark or as light as you want. I can also take one of my leaves and press it in to the ink pad to get it full of ink, and using the top as a mount, press it onto the page and you have a little bit of an imprint of veining. Do it in another spot too. You can see it usually in the lighter spots more pronounced than you can in the darker, but you can still see this lovely veining. And there you have it. You can add all kinds of bits and pieces of, you can take torn strips of paper and add that in here so that you have little elements you can glue beads on. This is just a real quick and easy ATC.